Well, since I'm still on hiatus, and one of the things on my list is to go to a museum that I have not attended before, the National Museum of American Indian is right here, right next to the nation's capital building, and I'm going to go in and see what's to see. From what I've heard, the food here is delicious, but I've also sadly heard that the exhibits are atrocious. We'll see. I'll let you know what I think. Or maybe you can decide. You tell me. When you visit the museum, you'll take the elevator to the 4th floor and come over here and look at the large atrium. The building is, well, it's hollow, you know, like an igloo, or also perhaps like the promises of the federal government to take care of the American Indians. This is a statue called Friends in Peace and Allies in War, and it's from the Oneida Indians in upstate New York. It's a beautiful tree with an eagle at the top, perhaps. Very cool. In this Hall of Peoples, the date starts at 1491. I don't know why it doesn't start sooner than that, but it doesn't. And it talks here about the clay figures and the gold, and then the weapons and the prize of taking the gold from the natives, and then more weapons and diseases. Over here we have stories of the individual nations, the Blackfeet, the Apache, and the Kiowa, and others. This is a presentation about how the Apache tribe and some of the scouts were held prisoner for 27 years and then released, but not given the land they were promised. This is a story about the Kiowa signing the Medicine Lodge Treaty in Kansas in 1867. There's a large display of firearms here, and apparently the story is that firearms make a difference, that might makes history, if not right. This is a presentation about the iron workers. The Mohawk Indians became famous for the bravery and the courage to work very high on ironworks for bridges and then later skyscrapers. You know, looking at the presentation there, it seems to me that there were not enough safety procedures taken, and today it would never work that way. You would never have people walking around on iron beams that far up without safety harnesses, as it should be. And I know Alex will appreciate this, lacrosse. The Kanawaki in Mohawk Indians and lacrosse. This is a story about the Native Americans who live up in the Arctic areas. We used to call them Eskimos, but of course that's no longer the correct word. And there is a gift shop where you can get all kinds of things to remind you of your visit here today. And while you're here, you can have the Native American treat called cafe latte. Here in the great rotunda of the Native American History Museum are 3 examples of boats. This is a modern nylon over wood kayak built in 2003 and shows how you might have used kayaks with spears and spear tips for hunting seals. Over here is a inter-island dugout canoe, perhaps, for the Hawaiian segment. And very nice. It's obviously not a dugout, but it's a canoe with an outrigger. And over here is the kind of reed raft that was made famous by the experimenters who did the Kon-Tiki experiment. Very nice. And Sun Ra. Very cool. And so that's it, YouTubers. Thanks for watching. This has been a trip to the Native American History Museum in Washington, D.C., part of the Smithsonian Institute. Thanks for watching.